Oh, Sheryl was fired and kicked out of the game because it was Caitlin Clark. A few months ago, Sheryl Swoopes was out there talking like she had a crystal ball and predicted that Indiana Fever was a dead end, that no one wanted to play there, and that Caitlin Clark wasn't bringing in any top talent. She said it with all of her heart, as if she knew it was true. Well, here we are, and guess what? Indiana just made one of the biggest moves in WNBA free agency history. Big names, huge talents, game changers, and Sheryl, she's been really quiet. Have you ever seen someone vanish after all that talk? That's exactly what's happening right now. Before we get into the good stuff, take a moment to like this video. Fever just sent a loud message to the entire WNBA, so let's break it all down. How did Indiana flip the script? Why did players choose to sign with the Fever? And most importantly, how did Sheryl Swoopes end up looking this bad? Additionally, subscribe to the channel. Don't miss out, Chanel. We've got you covered from every angle. Click the like button, subscribe, and let's dive right in. By joining our team, you'll always be up to date on the most recent WNBA updates, expert analysis, and recaps of key movements like this. Let's start by discussing Indiana's masterpiece in free agency. The Indiana Fever recently turned free agency on its head by shopping as if they had limitless funds in a video game. You know how it feels to sign every top free agent when your team is in franchise mode and you start feeling bad about creating a super team? That's exactly what happened here. Danana Boner, a 64-foot walking bucket, Natasha Howard, a champion defensive beast, and a veteran who can do it all. These aren't merely role players. They're elite difference-making athletes who could have signed anywhere but chose Indiana. Sydney Coulson is more than just a locker room leader. She's a glue player who improves every team. Sophie Cunningham brings energy, swag, trash talk, and an instant spark.
Indiana Fever are that golden destination, and I can't help but laugh. People online and the media commentators, unfortunately, who said that nobody wanted to play in Indiana.
However, didn't Sheryl step in and insist that this would never occur? Let's take a moment to reflect on what transpired a few months ago. With complete conviction that the Indiana Fever was doomed, Sheryl Swoopes sat on a podcast and declared outright that no serious free agent would touch Indiana with a 10-foot pole. She talked about locker room drama, a purportedly toxic culture, and how players were avoiding the Fever as if they had a losing curse. She spoke so confidently that it seemed like she had the last say.
There's a lot of other shit going on that players are like, this ain't where I want to be.
Over there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
However, the fact that the Indiana Fever are now drawing elite athletes rather than just signing players struck her like a freight train. Talent, like it's a place where championships are won. The transfer was made by one of A'ja Wilson's closest friends, Sydney Coulson, as well as by Natasha Howard, Danana Boner, and Sophie Cunningham. These aren't simply mediocre acquisitions, they're game-changing acquisitions, and the best thing is that it's occurring directly in front of Swoopes' eyes.
By the way, every single narrative about the Fever, it's like whatever about them signing Sophie Cunningham, who they don't like. They love Danana Boner.
She probably would have laughed if you had told her a few months ago that elite free agents would be lining up to play for Indiana. But the truth is that she misinterpreted the situation. The Fever isn't just surviving, they're thriving. And guess what? The reason why is very obvious. That leads us to the Caitlin Clark effect. Let's now discuss the true cause of everything.
Like, no, but players who will be free agents next year, there's a lot of other shit going on that players are like, this ain't where I want to be.
She is a game changer, not just another rookie attempting to establish herself. Her influence goes beyond stat sheet numbers, though those are also astounding. It's about momentum, influence, and elevating the WNBA to a new level. When asked why she selected Indiana, Sydney Coulson gave us the straight scoop. Although Kelsey Mitchell had a significant influence on her choice, she also heard nothing but positive things about Caitlin Clark from her Aces teammate Kate Martin, who said that players are flocking to Indiana due to Clark's reputation as a leader, competitor, and floor general who improves everyone around her. This is what Swoopes didn't anticipate. She believed Caitlin Clark was just hype and that the move from college to the WNBA would humble her. She also believed Clark would struggle for years before making a significant impact.
Would you consider each of those 3 seasons as dominant seasons for yourself?
No.
I can't. Sheryl Swoopes is willing to lie about her own career.
Caitlin is leading the WNBA, scoring 40 points like it's a casual workout, and providing assists like she's been in the league for 10 years. She's also selling out arenas in every city she plays in, bringing in record-breaking ticket sales, increasing TV ratings, and getting people talking about the WNBA like never before. Now that players are aware that playing with Clark means being a part of something historic, they're flocking to Indiana because they know that she's not even in her prime yet, so just think of what she'll be doing in 3 to 5 years. That's frightening Indiana fever. The projected starting 5 is loaded with talent, experience, and pure star power. The generational talent that everyone has been talking about, Caitlin Clark, has the leadership, talents, and hype to propel this team forward. In the backcourt, she is joined by the veteran who does it all. Deanna Bonner is a clutch performer, a defensive powerhouse, and the type of leader every championship team needs. Kelsey Mitchell is a certified bucket getter and one of the best pure shooters in the game. If she gets hot, defenses are having a lot of trouble holding down the small forward spot. Bonner can score inside, spread the floor with her shooting, and lock down top scorers on defense. She also brings playoff experience, intensity, and the ability to step up when it counts most. In short, she presents opponents at power forward with a nightmarish matchup. Natasha Howard contributes her big game experience and toughness defense. She is a defensive threat and a rebounding machine who is always willing to put in the extra effort to help her team win.
It's going to be Caitlin Clark flash show, Caitlin Clark flash show. So it's going to be phenomenal playing with a point guard, like you said, that have a good vision.
And within the paint, Aaliyah. With her size, skill, and basketball IQ, Boston is the league's future. She's a defensive anchor, dominant down low, and has all the makings of a future Hall of Famer. This team isn't just good, they're dangerous. They have chemistry, talent, and a desire to win. The Indiana Fever aren't just a young team trying to prepare for the future. They're ready to compete right now. And believe me when I say that the rest of the WNBA is officially on notice. If you've read this far, it must mean you're enjoying the video, so why not take a moment to click the follow button? It's completely free, very easy to use, and helps us continue to provide you with more fantastic content, especially if you're a WNBA fan. Whether it's player or game highlights or behind-the-scenes footage, we've got you covered. You won't miss a beat when it comes to your favorite teams and players if you follow them. All right, let's get back to where all of this is happening. Sheryl disappears without a word. Amaya. It seems as though she packed her bags and took a long vacation from reality. Let's face it, when the receipts arrive and reveal your opinions are completely incorrect, it's difficult to look your best. There was even a game where the commentator began praising Caitlin Clark's incredible performances, and guess what? She sat there in total silence for a full minute. Nothing, no acknowledgement, just awkward silence. Although Caitlin Clark is the focal point, the goal is to win at the greatest level and establish a championship culture that will rival the greatest dynasties in WNBA history. The change in Indiana is evident. Only a year ago, no one considered them a contender, but now they are among the league's most talked-about teams, with a young core that is already proving its value and veteran stars eager to pursue rings. The WNBA is being warned by the Fever to be careful and not make any mistakes. This is just the start. While other teams are unable to decide what to do next, the front office of the Fever has been preparing. Indiana has already, miles ahead, is creating a dynasty from the ground up. They aren't just acquiring talented players, they are putting together a team that has the potential to dominate the league for years to come. This isn't luck. Rather, it's strategy, vision, and execution coming together in the best way possible. For those who are still skeptical of Caitlin Clark, I have some advice. Settle in. She is only beginning to realize her full potential, and as she advances in the league, so will the fever, the chemistry, the experience, and the momentum. Unstoppable. The old guard's meltdown will go down in history when Caitlin Clark wins MVP in the second year. The justifications for the conflicting stories. No matter how loud the critics get, the results will speak for themselves. And if Sheryl Swoopes continues to refuse to mention Caitlin's name, the silence will be deafening, because eventually, when the wins keep piling up and the trophies start rolling in, even the biggest doubters will have no choice but to acknowledge the greatness unfolding. The desperate attempts to downplay her impact will be hilarious gold. Folks, the Indiana Fever just turned the WNBA upside down, and Sheryl Swoopes. Let's just say that silence is loud. Before their eyes, the Indiana Fever aren't just here to play. They're here to dominate and change the game. If you're not on board yet, you might want to get out of the way because this train isn't stopping. I want to know if this free agency demonstrated that Indiana is the future WNBA powerhouse. Who do you believe is still cheating on Caitlin Clark? Caitlin Clark and the team are creating something unique, and the naysayers will simply have to deal with it. Post your ideas in the comments section. That's all for now. Stay tuned, stay excited, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm reading every single one, so before you bounce, press the like button, subscribe, and enable notifications so you don't miss a single update. We're breaking down every move, every game, and every hot take in the WNBA.